How's it going, Sean?
Pretty good. Hey, Kyle.
What's going on, guys?
Just a Sunday. So we're still social distancing, and we're gonna do another Hot Butcher beer, which is I'm very excited about this one. So full disclosure, I had this one, but I had it while grilling, so I didn't really sit there and take mental notes. This is live from Chicago. Ha! Mike did it this time. Hold your beer up, Mike. Jeez. This is a collaboration with Crushed by Giants Brewing Company. So they're not even open yet. They're opening. Thank you. They're opening. It says in May on their site, and they're going to be in Chicago as well. Actually, I don't think Hot Butcher is in Chicago proper. It says everything was canned and brewed in Darien, Illinois, which I never looked up how far that is from Chicago, but maybe it's probably like a town over or something. Simcoe, Citra, Galaxy, and HBC 692. Hopped IPA, 6.75%. The tasting notes say fresh fruit cocktail, pleasant pine, and sweet grapefruit. And this is supposed to be a West Coast style IPA. So it'll be interesting. Should we get into it?
Find out. Yeah, sure.
Oh, and glassware, we all have Craftmaster glasses. Mine's from Battery Steel in Maine.
Mine's from Treehouse.
Mine's from Crowns and Hops.
Nice. This glass is just so great.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be so? I guess I got most of the can in there. I got a pretty good pour. Oh, you got a mic pour, I see. Yeah, this looks like. I think it's got some chill haze on it, but yeah, it's definitely translucent. I can see myself through it. I can see you guys. It's like a straw yellow, you would say, right? Yeah, with like a sunshine, almost a sunshine burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only vaguely translucent.
Everyone's kind of like Mike's. Yours looks a little darker, but lighting.
It's the lighting, yeah.
I got about a finger ahead, but yeah, this looks gorgeous. It definitely looks like a West Coast IPA for sure. Which is exciting because Galaxy in West Coast. I don't think I've ever had a Galaxy beer in a West Coast IPA. I mean, a Galaxy hop. Have you? That I know of.
Yeah, I did double take when he said a West Coast style with the Citra and Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, so did you not know that this was a West Coast style beer before?
No.
Oh, okay. I should have just kept that a secret.
I love West Coast style. Not worried about it. Just when I saw the hops, I assumed. Yeah.
Yeah. Want to get a nose?
Yeah.
Good. It's sweet.
Very sweet.
Yeah. A lot of sweet citrus up front for me.
Yeah. Very grapefruit pithiness.
Yeah.
I'm getting like orange pith and peach.
Peach? That's a good call.
Yeah, like stone fruit almost, just like but light. Not like apricot, like peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say more peach than apricot.
Yeah.
And I think this beer helps me understand more than, and I mentioned it yesterday in the Tavern Cut review, which you can see on Kyle's channel. Wait, no, Kyle's over there. Nope, over there. Damn. Next to Mike. That I'm starting to be able to pick up Hot Butcher's like kind of like yeast smelly or taste profile. And I think it's a little bit more prominent in this because the other ones were all more, juicy East Coast style IPAs, whereas this is a West Coast, but I'm still getting that distinct smell I was getting in a lot of their East Coast IPAs, if that makes sense.
I'm not getting like distinctly West Coast notes out of the nose at least. I mean, maybe I will from the flavor, but I'm getting more like, I mean, not New England, but I mean, ish. It's lighter. It's this lighter on those notes.
If I didn't know that this was a West Coast IPA and I also couldn't see the beer, I'd probably, and I smelled it, I'd probably think that this was just a normal, East Coast style Hot Butcher beer. It smells delicious, but
good taste.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Fellas.
Cheers. Okay. Now I'm getting some of that pininess, some of that bittering that you get on on a typical West Coast style IPA. The citrus is nowhere near as prominent on the palate as it is on the nose.
Yes. Yeah, this is one of those beers that the smell and taste are pretty different for me anyway.
No, I agree. But it has almost, I wouldn't say it's a mashup, but it has that, it's definitely more West Coast than East Coast, but it still has those some like more juicier characteristics than it's not like full on resin, full on pine. It still has a lot going on.
Yeah, I feel like the pininess and the resininess is a little softer, but I mean it's distinctly in that realm. And the mouthfeel is distinctly different from the other IPAs we've had from these guys. This is much more it's a thinner, nowhere near as creamy kind of a body, you know?
Right.
I mean, I think this is an accurate representation of a West Coast style beer, but just not as extreme as like what you automatically go with like Pliny or something. It's nowhere near that.
No.
But it's got those kind of bittering and pininess. It got like the lighter citrus notes, because you get citrus notes even with like those West Coast beers.
For sure.
Not the juicy notes, you know?
Yeah. And it's very drying too, right at the end. Like,
that was gonna be my thing. Yeah. It tastes like a brewery that makes East Coast New England styles, making a West Coast and kind of keeping some of their East Coast New England things while still, you know, I mean, like some of the hops in there very much. I mean, we see Citra and Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know, you think a certain style of IPA, and it's not West Coast. We were talking before we started filming, someone that was not super wanting to even try this beer because it sounded not, New Englandy enough, which gets me wondering, is this a beer for someone who only likes one style or the other but wants to try the other style? Like, is it a gateway beer one way or the other? Is it too much one way or the other? Is it not enough of scratching that itch for anyone? I don't know.
Last year or year, I don't know when it was, maybe 2 years ago, Sierra Nevada put out a Bandcamp with Treehouse was in there, and they did East Coast, West Coast, and that was much more to me like a meeting of the two.
Yeah.
You know, this like I said earlier, this is distinctly on the West Coast variety. It's just not as. It's just not. I mean, because the definitive one is Pliny. That's when everyone always goes to West Coast. It's not like that, but it's West Coast to me. This is pretty distinctly West Coast, in my mind anyway. It's not a bad thing. It's actually quite delicious, easy drinker.
Oh yeah,
it's clean. It doesn't have that like prominent yeasty thing. It's not so full on the palate. Like you can probably crush a couple of these, honestly.
Yeah, I crushed this when I was grilling, but that point about it not being overly yeasty is a perfect way to kind of put it, because I never think of that. But if you think of East Coast IPAs, a lot of them they're well, I guess they're supposed to be pretty much like a very yeast forward beer. Like the hops are there to give some other flavors, but like usually the yeast is a big thing. Like look at Treehouse, look at Trillium, right? Like that's a big thing, and that's a good way to kind of put that. This isn't. Yeah, it's not yeast forward.
No, for sure.
And I know we said it before, but I know that Hop Butcher sends these, and thank you again, Jeremiah. We didn't say it at the beginning. Yes, thank you for sending this. They just don't make. We haven't had a bad beer yet. Like,
I mean, it is. It's a good beer, and it's for having Galaxy in it.
Oh yeah, we haven't really talked about what hops are even.
Like, well, just no one mentioned pineapple, and like all three of us love when we talk about Galaxy bringing up pineapple. So it's a real trip. Honestly, part of this review for me is just the trip of this beer, that it doesn't drink like the beers I drink that have Citra and Galaxy in them,
Yep.
But
and it says HBC 692, grapefruit, floral, stone fruit, potpourri, woody, cream, pine, resinous notes. So yeah, I guess
those.
Yeah, it's a good hop to kind of have with all those with the Citra and the Galaxy. And I guess I can get the Simcoe. I don't really get cat pee though on the nose.
But... Yeah. I was thinking that too with the Simcoe.
I can sort of see where the Simcoe is, but I'm like the Citra. I think is is well represented, especially in the nose. The Galaxy, like, I mean, I'm just not getting it, you know?
If we were doing this blind, none of us would guess Galaxy was in this.
No.
No.
The hop that's most prominent probably is the Simcoe on the flavor, but that could also be, it could mean it's actually the HBC 692.
Yeah.
Simcoe, that sounds like grapefruit, stone fruit, that sort of potpourri pine, that's sort of Simcoe-y too. So
Yeah.
I wonder if this is maybe like a variant of it or something. But either way, like, yeah, I would say probably on the nose, it's probably more like the Citra coming through with the tropical fruits and whatnot. And then the palette is probably definitely, or I'm getting mostly the Simcoe and probably this HBC 692.
Speaking of stone fruit, is like on the nose, I was getting notes of like some light notes of peach. On the palate, though, I'm actually getting more the apricot type of deal. You know, it's not a peachy, apricot. You know.
Yeah. This is a crushable.
It's a crusher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before I don't want to beat a dead horse.
No, it's delicious. It's really good.
Awesome. So let us know in the comments if you've had Hot Butcher and Crushed by Giants. They're live from Chicago, collaboration with Simcoe, Citra, Galaxy, and HBC 692. And what you think of it, and what you think of it compared to West Coast IPAs? Like, is this a gateway West Coast IPA like Kyle asked? Let's have a conversation and see if maybe you can convert some juice lovers to the West Coast. Mike looks like you would have given me that look in person if I made that joke too.
It's very West Coast. I think that's Mike's reservation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, like, people can have their opinion. I don't think this is a gateway.
Yeah.
I think if you're a juice guy, you're a juice guy. This is not going to be the conversion point.
Realistically, it's probably just like a step away from classic West Coast. It skews that close to proper West Coast. Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not the fault of the style. The fault is in the juice boy culture. It's just like they want that softness. They want the fruit. It's the only way they're gonna go this direction is palate fatigue. Honestly, like I said, it's a shame because it's a delicious beer, and it's if people are saying, "Oh, no, we want to trade for that," well, that's on them because this is great, and I think this is absolutely stellar beer, honestly.
Yeah, palate fatigue is a good way to put it, because I think that's how I came back around to liking West Coast IPAs again. It was like I loved the juice for so long, and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, this is just getting out of control. And then the more and more I had more West Coast style IPAs, I'm like, wow, I miss this style. So palate fatigue is a good way to put it.
Yeah, and the thing is, both styles have their merits. I definitely lean on the side of juice, but having one of these, man, it's nice.
Yeah. Cool. So down in the comments, Kyle, where can we find you?
No Heavy Reviews on YouTube, Untapped, Instagram.
Nice. And then find us nerdsense.net, from there everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the social places. And then like, comment, subscribe. And obviously subscribe to Kyle. Please subscribe to Kyle. This guy. And then notification bells, ding, ding. And I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
I'm Kyle.
And this is Nerdsense.